All right, folks. All right, all right. Yep, I am no longer sheltering in place. I am now on my official beach back there. By the way, don't hate on this guy. He's cleaning it up for me, making sure everything's nice and clean as I have exited my place in San Francisco. You guys like this little background that's moving?
Yeah.
What do you think, huh? The only thing, my next little video clip I should have is somebody coming over just delivering coffee and like scones or something. That should probably be more appropriate than the guy cleaning up in the back. How you doing?
Or
What
and
and how's Snoopy doing?
I know. Well, here I have coffee. I'm hanging out in the backyard.
Man, we're doing this in the morning. I swear, it looks like it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon in your place.
I know.
Like,
I know.
what's up with the 105-degree Arizona weather back there?
Gonna be 90 today or whatever it is.
Woo!
I'm
Okay.
enjoying it before it gets crazy hot.
Okay, you see this guy right here? See how dark I am? I do not need 90 degrees. I'll be honest.
Yeah, my
Well,
skin's
good.
definitely darker on the top, all over the place.
We got like all these tan lines and stuff.
I know. Seriously.
Oh man, so how you doing? How's here's another week has gone by. Doesn't it, aren't these going fast? See, I thought sheltering in place would make this go slow, like that slow. No, it's going super fast. Look, it's been another week,
Yeah, it just shows you. I mean, it just
right?
shows. It just makes us, I guess, reflect more about shit because you just
I don't know, but here's the thing: is that the weeks are going by fast. I didn't think it would go this fast being indoors. I thought it would go slow as molasses, and it just
well,
has not.
when you're busy, it does. Okay,
I
so
guess. Whew.
I think to the person because for folks who like work a 9 to 5 and totally don't have much
Maybe it
leave,
is going slow, huh?
it's probably
Maybe
going
because it's
slow.
going super fast for me. I swear, like weeks feel like 2 days
Well,
instead of
because
7.
you're busy. So let's
Yeah, I'm
talk.
super busy. So let's talk about that busyness. So we wanted to do something different today, everyone that's watching. And thank you again for watching these videos because, we do this out of love and we want to educate. We want to give good advice and give perspective as well, right? All those three things. And one of the things that we wanted to shed some light on today is, well, what does this look like? Because we've been talking about, hey, it's time to buy, rates are super low. Okay, that's great. But what does it look like? So
Mhm,
I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at a couple of scenarios. One is
mhm,
what happens if you bought a house for $1 million or if you bought a house for 1,500,000. Let's start out here. So this is an example in the scenario of if you were to buy 1,500,000 or if you were to buy $1 million. So if you were to buy 1,500,000 with 20% down, this is what it looks like. 20% down, your loan amount would be 1,200,000. Your down payment would be 300,000. Your interest rate approximately. Now keep in mind that rates change every single day. And if you want to reach out to me, I have a really great article not written by me that talks about how mortgage rates are really calculated and how they really work. Really, really good rate. Reach out to me and I'm more than happy to send you that article. So at a 3.75% fixed for 30-year rate, your total payment would be 7307 and 39 cents a month. Now let's break this down real quick. If you look at it, your principal and interest would be 55, 57, and 39 cents a month. Property taxes, assuming a 1.25% rate, would be $1,562.50. Then your hazard insurance, and this is just the insurance to insure the actual property, approximately 187 and 50 cents a month. So that gives you a total of 7307 and 39 cents a month.
So
Now,
let's
go ahead,
sorry, let's
you can
cover
ask me
that.
questions. Go,
So
jump in.
this is based on a house, right? So it's not a condo. It's a
Not a
single.
condo. And you'll notice here when I opened it up that notice how HOA dues are at 0. You see
Right.
that? That's how
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, so
And
we're assuming a single family residence. That's
yeah,
correct.
and for folks that are looking at these numbers, it's basically so if there is HOA, then homeowners association fees, then we definitely have to add that on top of the payment.
That's
Just let
correct. That's correct. You would add it to this, whether it's 500 or 400, whatever the case may be. And then if you notice here, the cash to close. So a cash to close item right here, all that means is it's your down payment of 300,000 plus an estimate of closing costs. Now, if you go here, you'll see that I've broken down the closing costs, right? And the down payment. It's all here.
so let me ask you. So basically, this is based on 20%. So folks that want to do 15 or 10%, is that still an option right now with
Y-
Jumbo?
That's a great question. I had a program that was 5% down. to $2 million that has gone away. We can now do 10% down. So that is possible. Now keep in mind that whenever you put 10% down on these, you're going to have to pay mortgage insurance. So if you notice here, going back to this, the breakdown of payment, notice how it says mortgage insurance. This is at zero because you're putting 20. But anytime you put less than 20% down, you're going to have to pay monthly mortgage insurance. So that will make your payment go up. But
And
yes,
to be
10%
high.
down.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if we did the same thing, assuming $1 million as opposed to 1,500,000, notice that the total payment comes down significantly. I'm still assuming 20% down. So now your loan is going to be 800,000. Also, your rate goes down a little bit because it's less of a loan, and then your payment would be 47.59 and 3 cents, and your cash to close, which again is down payment plus an estimate of closing costs, goes down to 207. It's almost $100,000 less, right? Is
Mhm.
essentially what it's going to take to buy this. Now, one other thing that I wanted to do too is let's look at the other side. Maybe you're thinking yourself or asking yourself, well, should I keep renting or should I own? Right? What do the numbers show? Because look, emotions are very fickle, right? One day we feel one day a certain way, and then another day we feel another way. Emotions are very fickle, but the numbers don't lie, which is one of the things I love about being in the numbers business is that this is what it looks like. So I'm assuming here at the $1 million purchase, does it make sense to buy $1 million house or to continue renting at $5,000 a month? And I'm assuming $100 of renter insurance a month. So if you look here, what this is basically saying, and I can create this report for anyone, by the way, if you ever want one of these reports, please let me know. More than happy to do a custom one for you. To cut to the chase, what this is saying that at $1 million purchase versus renting at 5,000 a month, in 7 years, because I used, if you notice here, 7 years before you sell, let's say you kept the house for 7 years, you will walk away with $644,085 more owning versus renting. Renting in 7 years, you're 75 G's essentially difference in cash flow negative because keep in mind, number one, that mortgage interest is deductible to 750,000 and 10,000 up to $10,000 of annual property taxes are still deductible. Whereas if you're renting, you have zero deductibility. You have 100% exposure of your money every month that you're paying that 5,000. That's just basically right. You're just paying to play. You're just paying for a crash pad. You're not building wealth, and you're not definitely taking advantage of tax deductions. You got 100% exposure. Just your money is just growing fungus, if you will, fungus among us.
Right.
Questions?
Yeah. So, okay. So, looking at this, I mean, so it's a good way to describe how investing in real estate also helps your net worth. I mean, I could tell you, once I invested again in real estate, like the past few years, my net worth has grown significantly. If I didn't use my savings or didn't strategically plan, I wouldn't have that. So,
That's
a lot of
exactly right.
it's scary, to invest in properties. But I would say throughout history, I mean, if you talk to everybody, whether they invested around the last Great Recession or prior to that, or even after that, their equity growth has gone up. And it will go in its peaks and valleys, but it always does. So as long as it makes sense for you financially, you just really can't lose.
Yeah, that is correct. That's exactly right. And so this is an interesting piece right here. By the way, this negative 75,000 comes from here. That in the 7 years, cash flow difference between your payments on the mortgage side and then your rent. The difference is you're bleeding 75 G's, essentially,
So
is
let me
how
ask.
this all works.
So basically, on these numbers, let's just say
Yeah.
someone has no debt. They're and sometimes people are partnering up. So whether someone buys it by themselves, or if they have a few people or a couple people to get into a property, like what kind of income does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So on 1,500,000, you would have to have zero debt going into it and an income of $17,000 a month gross. Now, keep in mind a couple things. Whenever a lender is looking at your income, if you are working for a company, your W 2, we look at the gross wages, not the net. the gross prior to taxes. And if you have bonuses and or overtime, that's considered to be variable income. We look at the last 2 tax years that you filed. You must have it for the last 2 years. You can't have it just for 1 year. Otherwise, you can't count it, because we're going to do a 24-month average of the last 2 filed tax years in order to
Mhm.
calculate bonuses and overtime, because that's considered to be variable. So when I talk about 17,000, that can be any combination of the last 2 years of average of bonus and overtime plus your wages, meaning what you actually get paid bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, or twice a month, however you get paid. That
Mhm.
has to equal to $17,000. Now that's for 1,500,000. Okay. Now on a million, that would be 11,000, approximately $11,000 a month. So about
Okay.
$1,000 less.
See,
Right
so
now, that can be a combo of not just you, but it could be a combo of other people going on the loan with you. Right? Could be yourself and a spouse. Could be yourself and a cousin. Whatever the case may be.
right. So if you're talking about like if there's no debt, so then you would adjust that. So say you have a car payment or you have credit cards or whatever, or
So
you're
let's say at the 11,000 on a million, right? And let's say your car payment's $500. Well, I said you have to have $11,000, right, with no debt. So you'd have to have 11,500
right.
if
Exactly.
you had the $500 car payment. You just add the monthly debt to that 11,000 that you need to qualify. That's how it works.
See, so a lot of times, some people are making that money a month and some
Yeah.
people aren't. If you're not, I mean, I would say get creative, work together. A lot of times, you just have to kind of find a strategy to get into something, get some security, and then later on, you either buy each other out, you sell the property, and
You
you take.
buy units, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can
You
I?
buy units.
Let's do a scenario. So I have a duplex. It's a 7 bedroom duplex. I'm not sure why it hasn't sold yet. Doesn't have a garage, and
Okay.
that's
That might be
but
one.
that might be one. So let's talk about that. If someone wanted to buy, partner up, and they're priced out of San Francisco, but they want to stay in the city, and so let's say it's 1.3, and one unit has 4 bedrooms and one unit has 3 bedrooms. If someone wanted to buy, let's do that scenario if you don't mind. Can we? Is there time? Is there a way to do that right now? If we're on the doing this, or
Uh,
is
tell
that
you
going
what,
to
I'm
be
going to unshare my screen. And I'm going to go ahead. Let me run it while we talk. So you're talking about,
do 1.3?
so I'm going to
And
do 1, 3. Okay.
and then so let's talk about for people partnering up with that, and then let's talk about someone renting out the other unit because I think sometimes we have to kind of get creative and try to find a way. How do we leverage on a property? So in this case, if someone was really thinking strategically and they're already in a position that they don't really have a lot of parking or they don't really have a car and or there is street parking. So if it's not a big deal, then you could say, okay, let me see what the scenario is. But if I had someone reach out to me the other day that it was going to be two friends that work
Yeah.
downtown
Okay.
that were have share one unit just to kind of get into real estate together and just start somewhere and then rent the second unit
Got it.
and unit would rent for at least $4,000.
Okay. So let's take a look at this real quick. So at 1,000,003, which is right here, folks, this is what it looks like. So your payment would be 63.33. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be your payment. So assuming no debt, that would be essentially $15,000 a month you would have to make.
Okay, and that's on a multi-unit. That's based on a multi-unit property. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you look at these numbers, 1.3, the total payment is about 63. If
Yep.
you can rent, so either if you have two people going into it and they have two separate families or whatever, or you want one unit, the other person wants the other, you divide that payment in half, and you're looking at lower than what you would pay for rent.
That's exactly how
Uh,
you look at it. And the way we structured it in the past is that you decide, upfront, you negotiate with that other person as much as possible when you think you're going to sell,
mhm.
right? And what percentage ownership, depending on what the person brings in for the down, because sometimes it's not 50-50. Sometimes one person maybe the person who's going to stay puts in 60% down payment, the other person puts in 40. And guess what? They're going to get 40% of the upside from the moment they bought to the moment that they're quote unquote leaving, right?
Right.
And so you
Exactly.
take a comp right then and there, right? Or comps, and then you take the difference and you give them 40%. And that's the agreement. That agreement, by the way, is not negotiated, or paperwork is not given to when you buy the house. That's a total on the side between you two. You're
Right.
going in as an owner occupied. Simple as that.
Absolutely. And
Both
if you
living there, because that's the truth.
right, and so if someone really wanted to be strategic, so say you could qualify up to 1.3, and there's a couple people, or how many people are getting qualified, and so say the payments total 6,300,
Hmm.
and the other unit could rent for 4,000, say, even if it's 3,500. Most of your, if you're splitting the mortgage and you're renting another unit, I mean, you're going to pay less than you would rent anywhere else also. And in this
Yep.
way, you would be, I don't know. I mean, then with that extra money, you can save it and strategize somewhere else. So there's a lot of different ways where you can look
There's
into.
different ways to do this. And so here's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is that sometimes when you go to bat, you're not going to hit a home run, but at least get on base,
Hmm.
right? Get a double, get a single, get a triple, get on base.
Hmm.
Because if you're not on base, you can't bring it in and score, right? Here's what I mean. Sometimes you buy, it might not be the most desirable thing you wanted to do, because maybe, we all want to hit home runs, which means I just want to go buy a house and live in it by myself, blah, blah, blah. But maybe sometimes you just buy a 2 unit and do this arrangement, even though you have neighbors right next door. It's not the most ideal thing, but you use it as a stepping stone to then position yourself later. Because over time, if you're renting, you're never going to build equity. And that's just free money. I mean, how many investments do you know give you a tax write off and pay you while you're sleeping in it?
Right.
No other than real estate, okay, that I know of. And if you
Absolutely.
do, please let me know, because I haven't heard about it and I'm 52, okay?
Right. And the
And so
freedom to.
you two step it.
Hmm.
That's how
Absolutely.
you do it, right? But
So this.
that means get in the game.
Yes, and this shows you that you can get into San Francisco real estate, and you can
Yeah,
make it happen, and you can make it affordable. I have a property right now for anyone who's interested. It's 1771 1773 LaSalle in San Francisco.
there you go.
Um, but you have to see the bigger picture. So if you ever want to strategize, I mean, we do these videos just kind of give you different angles, because a lot of times,
Absolutely.
don't go in depth about like how things are made or how things happen. But we're here to.
Absolutely. That's what we're here to do. It's just to give you some guidance, some education, and to give you some solid advice based on what you want to accomplish. Now, when we run the numbers, if the numbers show that you can't do it by yourself, well, let's get creative.
Hmm. Hmm.
Don't kill the dream, kill the method. And then let's re-strategize, redo it, restructure it, and let's get it done. Because look, I'll tell you something. These rates, these interest rates are not real. Here's what I mean. They're artificially low thanks to the Federal Reserve. That's just the bottom line. So what am I saying? They got nowhere to go but up. Now, the good news is that the Fed said they're not going to really touch rates until when? 2021, maybe. I think probably at the end of 2021, if anything. But my guess, probably 2022. You know why? Because it's going to take a while for all this to recover. If we even recover, I think it's a new world order, personally. I think we've been changed forever. That
Hmm.
doesn't mean we're not going to have some sense of normalcy. Sure, we will. But I think the world has been shaken, and we're going to do things differently moving forward. And it's going to take a while for us to reconfigure and to get this economy, and all the economies, quite frankly, back pumping. Look, we're still seeing collateral damage. Did you see that 24-hour fitness went bankrupt yesterday?
Yeah, but I saw that they were closing down like 10 locations in the Bay Area, but.
Yeah, but 130 overall. And that's just the beginning. Who knows? They're probably going to close more, right? But my point is that everybody's reorging.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's reorging. So this is going to take time. I've heard a couple of numbers that say it's going to take 9 to 10 years, which, by the way, isn't that what it took from 2008? Yes, it did. And that, I think, was less far reaching for sure than what's happening now. So this is going to take time. Take advantage of that. If anything, I would say call us just to even talk about how you would like to envision your life in a few years and how you need to restructure your finances to get there. The last thing you want to do is just kind of float like a leaf in the wind. Do some planning. There's a lot of power in planning. You know, the old saying when I was a financial advisor was most people don't plan on failing, they just fail to plan. It's true.
Nothing happens
Just
unless you
get
plan.
it in order. Start now.
Yep.
Start by looking at your budgets. Track your money. How many of you have tracked for 30 days everything you spend? By the way,
Oh,
there's a great app called Expensify. It's free. I've used it for many years. It allows you to put in there, input every single thing you spend, and you put it into categories: meals and entertainment, utilities, mortgage payments, car payments, all that stuff. And it tracks it and it gives you charts, and it'll show you exactly where your money is going. Track it first, change behaviors after. Because if you don't track it, you can't change what you don't track. It's just straight up truth. So
exactly.
start that way. That, by the way, is the first step to homeownership, is knowing where's your money. You'd be
Mm-hmm.
surprised how much we spend. And believe me, I've been guilty of this too. We spend on things that just are not helping you get to that goal that you say you want to achieve. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we drink way too much coffee. And then second, we might eat out a lot, especially right
Mm-hmm.
when we're feeling kind of a certain way. People have a
Mm-hmm.
tendency to eat more, eat out right now. People are getting tired now of cooking. I'm starting to see that way. So they're ordering out more, right? At 30, 40, 50 bucks, 60 bucks a clip. It
It
adds up.
it adds up. No,
So
absolutely.
enough of the preaching. My whole thing is that, just start. Talk to professionals like Fatima and myself because we really care. And let's get a game plan going. Let's get a roadmap. Let's get that map so you can get exactly to where you say, not where we say, but where you say you want to go. All right, how do people get a hold of you, Fatima?
You could call or text 415-756-4418. How about you, Ed?
Yeah, call me 415-368-1149, or you can email me ed at kuno, Kun as in Nancy, O, advisors with an S at the end.com. On that note, have a great day. Take care of yourself. Make sure you stay healthy, stay safe, and stay positive because this too shall pass. Who knows when, but it will. Positivity is super important. And don't forget to reach out to the people in your life that add value and those professionals who want to get you there to the destination you say you want to get, whether it's my place back here or it's that brand new house, the nice house just like Fatima's. All right,
Mm,
have a great day. Take care.
thank you.